So yeah, we you know, we had people carrying our equipment, but we had some nice equipment, man. We had two nice big P-Vase speakers, and then we had
the boss speakers.
Yeah, some bass woofers and so forth like that.
We had PSP, we had the PVP 1000.
Right, and we went up. And what was the groups we went up against? I mean, we went up
Soundstage Boombox, Grandmaster Nell, Flash Crew, Disco Rat. It was quite a few groups, man.
Now, I gotta tell you, you know, we held it down, man. We held it down as far as sound and equipment. But the funniest thing was, I don't know if you remember this, but the funniest thing was when we went up against Disco Rat. We was up somewhere up West Oak Lane, and we went up against Disco Rat, and we was holding it down, handling our business. And then Disco Rat comes with this boom. Disco Rat came. I mean, he came. I mean, I gotta give it to you. We couldn't touch him as far as sound. I mean, because his speakers, man, went like they were like skyscrapers compared to our speakers that were like houses. But anybody under him, man, we held it down, man. But that was one of the funniest moments, man, when we went to battle, when we went up to battle against Disco Rat. I mean, and he went last, and we was holding it down. I mean, he couldn't tell us nothing. But when he turned his on, it was earth shaking.
I remember Hotel Philadelphia when we had the battle against Philly, against New York. We started out first. We came in first, and the rest of the crews came in, didn't have enough power to hook up against us. So they wound up hooking up with our sound system. Right. And Grandmaster No came in last, and so he wound up hooking up by himself. That's the only reason we lost that contest, because everybody had to hook up with us, and it made our sound, it drew a lot of power from us.
Yeah. I mean, equipment was something. Equipment was essential back then. You had to have the sound, and not only that, you had to have the skills too. You ain't had the skills. You didn't have the skills for the wheels, and you ain't had the equipment.
I gotta give you credit, man. You was one of the best scratchers out there. You know that?
Oh man, that was my thing. You know, my thing was scratching. I loved the scratch. You know what I mean? And then Lightning Les, he was good on the fade, and he was good on the fade. And he was really big for fade.
He scratched a lot too, but his thing was basically his fade. Exactly.
Yeah. And the scratching was a thing, you know what I mean? But that was one of the funniest moments, you know, one of the funniest moments when Disco Rat came with that boom, you know what I mean? That earthquake sound, you know what I mean? But we held it down. We held down our respect too. You know, equipment was one of them things, man. You had to get. You know, you had to get it by, you know, I would say any means necessary.
Hook or crook.
Yeah, hook or crook. But you know what? We got it, you know, and some equipment we borrowed from friends who had their equipment, and then some equipment we just borrowed. You know, we read between, and we held on to it past the expiration date.
Forgot to give it back.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna say about that. You know, but those were the times, man. You know, when we really held it down. You know, and then along with that, I mean, if you had skills and you had equipment, you know what comes along with that? The women came along. Women. And sometimes it would be your woman, and sometimes it would be mine. Yeah. We were like, what, you was with her last night?
Yeah, we just swapped women.
That was all part of the hip hop, you know. It was all about having fun. And you know what, to be honest, you know, yeah, we did it for money, but we were more in it for the fun, for the life of it, you know what I mean? It gave us life. It added life to our day. You know what I mean? And then one of the things, you know, one of my main things beyond it is I always justified the house parties and the block parties by giving our people something to do to keep them away from crime. I always justified it by doing that. People say, you making all this noise.
Even though most of the crime, I was doing a lot of the crime back then. Yeah. But still, it kept me away from a lot of the crime.
Yeah. You know, so those were the times, though. You know, and the other thing is, I mean, we had so much fun when we would wake up in the morning. We started. This was an all-day thing. I mean, it was in our blood. We would wake up in the morning.
Either my basement or your attic.
Yup, and go over somebody's house, because we kept equipment at two different places. equipment over my house, kept equipment over Mike's house. So we would wake up in the morning, and the first thing we would do is just start cutting and practicing. It was just in our blood. And then I think by 12 or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, we was outside. You know, we was outside. We took it to the playground and had tape. You know, I looked like Radio Raheem back then. I had the hat on. I wore the glasses. You know, the Blues Brother glasses. And I had the boom box. Back then you had to have a boom box because that's what you played your tape on. You played your tape on the boom box. And that's how everybody knew. Saying you were blasted. And then, you know, they would know it'd be, oh, that's the M&M Crew. And they would start following you to the playground, and everybody would just sit around and listen and jam, and we would talk and then we would share stories about the night before and get ready.
Exactly.
And get ready.
What group was you with last night?
Yeah, what group was you with? Because there was another group in the hood. Flash Crew. It was a Flash Crew. But the M&M Crew held it down. Flash Crew had his crew, and then I had my crew, and we were battle. But a lot of people knew, or some didn't know. Me and Flash, we were the best of friends, and we still are today. Yeah, I mean, and that's how we got down, man. That's how we got down.
Yeah, I talk to Flash almost every day on the phone.
Yeah. I miss those guys, you know. I miss those guys. I forgot to mention Sigma. I don't want to forget about nobody. Remember, we had Sigma.
Yeah.
Now, Sigma was our guy who helped us get our equipment that we borrowed. He was the manager of borrowing equipment. that was
getting anywhere to borrow some equipment.
Yeah. And then we had Rome. He just passed away this year. You know, he was down with the crew. You know, and I think I mentioned MC Mike, and I mentioned Shawnee G.
And my two brothers, Lightning Les and Bill.
Yeah, that was our crew. You know, and it was about the camaraderie. We would get together, and not only did we enjoy doing what we doing, but we enjoyed each other's company. We enjoyed each other's camaraderie. You know what I mean?